Our guest is Frank Erb. Frank is a pastor missionary to the California State Capitol.
That's
What about humility? Do you get legislators asking for prayer for humility?
right. Well, they'll ask me to pray for somebody else for humility sometime. Well, actually, I have had many elected officials tell me that they think that probably they and their colleagues are really struggling with pride and and that they admit that many of them are probably narcissists, where
Hmm,
it's really all about them.
yeah.
It's interesting to have government leaders. I even had a government leader's wife say that, say, I think they're all narcissists. Uh, but these are people who've stepped up to have an election and go through that whole process and get everybody to vote for them. And then they get into this position. And now, as you know, the Capitol's an opulent, beautiful building. And they're working in this gorgeous setting sometimes. And they're invited out to events where they're wined and dined and treated like royalty. They're around the movers and shakers and powerful and rich people. Really, the richest, most powerful people in our country are around them. They're around each other, and so. And then they have groupies, which I didn't know until I got into this arena. But just like movie stars have people who follow them around, government leaders do. They have groupies who want to be around them, who want their autograph, and sometimes it's lobbyists just trying to butter them up. But there's people flirting with them, and there's all kinds of dynamics that go to their head, and they'll admit that. Yeah,
Mhm.
many times. One time we were in our legislators' Bible discussion group, and a legislator said, the big problem here, Frank, is when we get elected to office, we're treated like royalty, and it goes right to our heads.
Right.
And no one argued around the table. We had a whole group of elected officials, and no one argued against it. They see it happening either in their own heart or in the hearts of those they know. And that can really affect them in a difficult way. One legislator told me, he said, as soon as I was elected to office, it was as if I suddenly became smarter, funnier, and better looking. And and so we pray for them that God will keep them humble. And that's a work of God. Sometimes he'll use problems and difficulties to get
Mhm.
their attention. And I've learned to actually thank God sometimes when they go through a hard time, because I know some of them need that reminder that they need to look to the Lord
Yeah.
and they need to call on Him. And so God can use the difficulties sometimes to draw them to Him and give them that humility.